Hello everyone. Today I would like to present you the exploratory data analysis of hospital readmissions. The background: as the cost of readmissions is large for the patients and hospital ranging from 10 to 15,000, and diabetes is leading cause of hospital readmissions. In fact, the top four principal diagnosed in index admissions: septicemia, heart failure, diabetes, and COPD combined account for 1 in 5 readmissions. So, the hospital readmissions cost around $52 billion per year. All information predates the impact of COVID hospitalization. It is important to identify the patients most likely to return to the hospital after treatment to decrease and limit readmissions because it negatively impacts patient quality of life, cause undue strain on the medical staff and insurance. The research problems. We would like to check if there are interesting cohorts within patient groups that may increase the probability of readmissions, and create two machine learning models and choose the better models to identify the patients most likely to return to the hospital after the treatment. About the exploratory data analysis, including data cleaning, data visualization, model explanation, statistical analysis, and the conclusion. The descriptive statistic for numeric variables. We explore the value of the datasets, including the arithmetic average of all the value in the dataset, and other commonly used measure of central tendency. The descriptive statistic for categorical variables. Some variables take almost only single values and useless for prediction. So we have removed from our models, and the new patients will be unlikely to have the same values. So they will be removed in our model. For the missing values will be used at a specific level in decision tree model and will be ignored in logistic regression model. About the relationship between target variables, we assume the variable should be able to predict readmitted. If a patient has bigger value for the number of emergency, the patient is more likely to be readmitted. About the model, I select two model comparison. The decision tree model, we focus on the internal node represents a decision based on specific feature or attribute of input data. We found mean spread is the minimum number of observations that must exist in a node in order for a spread to be attempted. And the smaller value for CP will result in more complicated model. The final values of the decision tree is mean. If a patient meets the features, the patient will be more likely to get readmitted. About the logistic regression model, I use a big decision tree with max depth equals 16 to choose the relatively important variables and select the final predictor among these variables. The number of residue has negative effect on the readmission target. The probability of event readmission will decrease. There are many variables such as number of inpatients, number of diagnosed, age, number of emergency, and number of lab procedure have positive effect on target variables. readmitted. As this variable increase, the probability of readmission target will decrease. About the model comparison, when compare the decision tree model and the logistic regression models, the final decision tree has accuracy values at 0.6416, and the final logistic regression has accuracy value at 0.6523. So the final logistic regression has better accuracy than the final decision tree. I suggested to use the logistic regression model to find the patients with high risk in readmission. The limitation of decision tree model. However, the decision tree model is good, but there are still some limitations. For example, from our final tree, when we predict the number of diagnoses in the two observations are almost the same, but the predicted target value are quite different. It makes the decision tree model is not smooth enough. The conclusion. The number of procedures had negative effect to readmission target. When the number of procedures increased, the probability of event readmission target will decrease. And the number of inpatient, number of diagnosis, age, number of lab procedures, number of outpatients, and number of emergency have positive effect on readmission. As those variables above increase, the probability of event readmission equal true will increase. And other factors such as the level Asian of variable race or the level yes of variable diabetics have small probability of event readmitted equal true as reference level corresponds to coefficient 0. From the models, I suggest we should focus on the following four subgroups, such as patients in each of four subgroups will have a predicted probability of readmissions equal true, bigger than 50%, including subgroup with node number 13, 15, 25, and 29. Thank you so much.